Alright, so boom. That's nothing. Right. So welcome back. Welcome back to the Icarus Project, episode 4 actually. So before we start, I actually just want to say thanks to the couple of people that actually subscribed already. We nearly uploaded 3 videos so far, and I mean, from the first video to the third video, you could tell we are very new at this, but
and episode 1 was trash.
it wasn't trash. It's just the you could tell we knew to it.
It was trash.
So
audio was trash.
it will get better with time.
Topics was, I don't know.
We'll get a fancy mic. We'll get better lighting. We'll get a studio at some point. But for now, much love and appreciation for the subscribes, the likes, all of it. Thank you very much. So, it's late. It's dark outside. We're here to talk about movies, anime, games, all the good stuff. You want to start? Cause
Yeah, I just wanna start by saying I make a joke last week about how t-shirting this guy, and homeboy came with a full Squad 7 t-shirt.
yeah.
Minus the Sakura. Very good choice. Good choice. So he may have won this week, even though Super Mario dog. Let's be real.
Well,
Let's be real.
that's a good choice.
And he doesn't know about all the other jerseys I have, but I did show him one before this, just to let him know that the clip is still fully loaded. So he has to be on his A game every episode.
I will be. So, first thing that we're going to talk about is... Alright, so first I want to just preface this by saying I know in the first episode, or I think the second episode, I said that Green Lantern is my favorite DC superhero, same as
Mine as well.
Sky. But my favorite superhero of all time is Spider-Man. And people who know me from since I was a young lad know that Spider-Man is my favorite character, and just everything Spider-Man related, all of his villains, everything, I lock in to see it.
You should post your the birthday image that your brother did of you.
Yeah. No, that was
as an image, just to explain.
I'll throw it up. You'll see with my skills. Yeah, so no, it was Spider-Man is one of my favorites. So
It's his all-time favorite.
It's my all-time
It's
favorite.
like Green Lantern is my all-time favorite, but his favorite DC
is just Green
My
Lantern.
favorite Marvel character is actually Gambit. So
But yes, that's true. And we could talk about that. But anyway, yeah, so movie came out just this week. Venom 3.
yeah,
Venom 3.
Venom 3.
Because I did not like Venom 2.
I watched Venom 2 in parts.
So you had some thoughts about Venom 3?
I didn't watch it, but my thoughts on it was that all these new movies that are coming out, I don't know if it's like fatigue or just Sony just not good. But I mean, even if you watch with DC with the Joker, comic book movies going back to being not good, basically. Like, we reach our peak, we plateau in Marvel and DC, and then we start to plummet again. So that's why we had a string of terrible movies like Morbius and Madam Web and Eternals, and things that just weren't good.
Eternals was not bad.
Let's be real. I know he's gonna try to defend it.
But
Eternals was not good.
It
It had good parts.
It had good parts.
Like Makari is like
top
was
tier speedster.
yeah, like that's the best version of using speed in a movie that we've seen.
Mint.
Like, not even second to Flash in Snyderverse. Not Snyderverse. The Whedon Flash. That scene.
Yeah.
But Makari in Eternals was the best version of using speed as well, being a speedster in a superhero movie.
Correct.
So other than that, Eternals was not good.
It had its parts.
Was not good.
I enjoyed seeing. Was his name Icarus as well? Actually,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, his flight scenes, his whole
Superman had better fight scenes in Man of Steel.
he is a Superman variant. He's one of the many Superman variants. But I enjoyed seeing
A
his
copy of Superman, basically.
yeah. Well, not a variant, sorry. Yeah, a copy of Superman. Because there are so many.
Yeah, so back to the Venom topic. Like, even though I like to form my own opinions, not based on like Rotten Tomatoes and these raters and critics online, but I tried to watch Man on Web and they were right. It was trash. Not even gonna attempt Morbius. I'm not even gonna think about watching Morbius because I mean, as much as I like Jared Leto as an actor in certain things, as a superhero, he just not doing it. As a villain, he did not do it.
He didn't.
I like his laugh as Joker.
It was a crazy.
It was an interesting version that he tried,
yeah.
but it was not it. And they said that they cut out a lot of his scenes. And I think if we had gotten up a bit more of those scenes, it might have been a bit more interesting. But it's what the studio wants, and these movies just not hitting. The new phase of Marvel movies not hitting. Sony losing the plot. Because as good as Tom Hardy is, he can only work with what he has. It's just like that same thing with Andrew Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
He was the best version of Spider-Man to me. His suit was the most comic accurate. He was the most Peter Parker-ish, like inventive and stuff without the help of Tony Stark, and not as trying to be realistic as Tobey Maguire. Like, he was literally very smart, invented his own stuff, right? And the second movie was just, he could only work with what he has. And these movies,
it was still, I actually like the Amazing Spider-Man 2 a lot.
I like Amazing Spider-Man 1.
Both of them were good.
2 was good. Like I say, he's a Spider-Man fan, just like I like the Green Lantern movie, and Green Lantern was trash.
That's fair.
Right?
That's fair.
So I don't think it's fatigue. I think that these studios just trying to do cash grabs and it's just not working out. Because, and I think the main test for this would be for the new Avengers, because they're bringing back the Russos to direct it, and they were the last people to make a good Marvel movie. Because I would say Taika was the last person to make a good Marvel movie, because his movie came out after the Avengers also. The Thor. I'm not too sure. I think Thor. Thor 4. Well, not 4. 3 came out after Avengers.
Wait, did you say a good Avengers, a good movie? Is that what you said?
What, Thor?
Yeah.
4?
Well, Love and Thunder.
No, that was terrible.
Okay,
the one before that.
I was trying to figure out.
The one before that.
So, yes, Ragnarok. Yeah.
Right?
Ragnarok was good.
And Taika directed that one.
No, but Ragnarok came out
before the last Avenger.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah. So that means the Russos are the last people to make a good Marvel movie, which was Endgame, basically the culmination of the Thanos saga. We don't know where the story going, and everybody trying to make their own universe, and it just not hitting. So with Venom, the Finishing Trilogy, they say they're gonna try to get Spider-Man in it. It didn't work out. I think Sony should just give back all rights to Marvel, but they won't because they like money.
It's a lot of money.
But they're wasting money at the end of the day because they're losing.
Yeah, so I actually did see Venom 3 just yesterday, actually. It was the closing of a trilogy. It had its good parts. Right. So Null is basically the creator of the symbiotes. That's Venom and everything that looks like Venom. Carnage, all of them. Well, technically, Venom created Carnage, but ultimately, Null is responsible for all of them. And in the end, early on when he created them, all of the symbiotes actually developed like self-awareness and like morality after a certain while, and they realized how evil Null actually is, and then they locked him into their home planet. This is not spoilers, huh? This is just facts.
General knowledge.
It's supposed to be general knowledge. It's stuff
I didn't know any of this.
okay. But it is general knowledge from, well, I guess reading the comics, but yeah. They locked him into their planet because, well, they knew how evil he was. They understood that, and they were like, he cannot escape because if he escapes, that's it, right? So the shining light for the movie was that they did not spoil null, but they left room for him to be something in the future. So that was the main thing. But Venom 3 had good parts. But it was mostly just. I tried. Tom Hardy does his thing because he is an excellent actor. But I don't know. Maybe it's just the story. I mean, the story wasn't bad or anything like that. Like there was an actual story there, but it just. So I would recommend that you watch it. Just to be able to say you finished watching all of them.
Completionist thing.
Yeah, but because it is watchable. It's a watchable movie. I did not like Venom 2. Venom 2 was not watchable. That is piece of that was not a good movie.
I watched Venom 2. Like I said, I watched Venom 2 in parts, so I didn't even know the whole storyline behind it. And I'm a fan of Carnage from the comics. Comic version of Carnage, big fan. Woody Harrelson as Carnage, as Cletus Cassidy.
That was not a good movie.
No, it was. Once again, Tom Hardy, great actor, could carry a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Could only work with what he has.
They had so much potential.
Part 1 was great.
Part 1 it had the novel effect of being the first movie, first time again to see Venom on the
and
big
Tom
screen.
Hardy
Well,
put
not
his
first time, but
and Tom Hardy put his all into it. And after what we get from Spider-Man 3 with Tobey,
it was a very good looking Venom.
like a turd in the wind.
Well,
I still love that line.
okay, you said that.
Still love that line. So I think I don't think it's fatigue. I just think that these movies just not good.
Yeah, I don't think they're not thinking it through.
They just want the money that they think they would get from releasing a movie.
And they will get the money because once it's tied to Spider-Man, once it's tied to anything with him,
but like
gonna make money.
it even proves with once again Mobius. A meme was going on online on Twitter where everybody started to say it's Morbin time, and they think like that is something that Mobius actually said in the movie, and it got to such a hype level that the studio decided to go and re-release Mobius in cinemas.
I saw that.
And they re-released Mobius and it made like $1.5 million. Which is nothing.
But it's still gonna make some money.
Which is nothing in the scheme of, like, they just waste the time.
How much?
They probably lost money re-releasing it again.
Well, what was that movie that did terribly? That they released the other day?
A superhero movie that did terribly.
Yeah.
Superhero movie that did terribly.
It did so badly. Joker.
Joker? What, part 2 of Joker?
Yeah, part Joker.
Well, we had this conversation last week. Like,
right.
Part 2 of Joker was not bad.
Yeah, but no, not. I mean, like.
Oh, that did terribly, like, studio-wise.
Yeah.
The only reason they'll consider that movie did bad is because for some strange reason, that it costed that movie was $200 million. Alright? And part 1 was only like $80 or $90 million. And it made. Well, it was like the highest rated R movie at the time.
It's the Robert Downey Jr. effect. The first Iron Man movie, he barely made anything in that.
Mm-hmm.
By the time Endgame came around,
$50 million a movie.
What?
$50 million movie.
So yeah, Joker and Phoenix and Lady Gaga. Well, Joker and Phoenix really, they had to pay the man. The man gave them a very successful first movie. The second movie is going to cost them, and it did.
And remember, he's an established actor, Oscar winner, so he was getting paid regardless.
Yeah.
But I think, like, everybody had expectations of it being, like I said, it was going to be like the first one, and it wasn't. It was like a musical. I literally had no problems with Joker 2. I think Joker 2 was good. I would watch it again in the future, just not now.
Maybe if I see it
'Cause
come
like-
true, and I'll dabble.
Because like I said, it's a musical, and I don't have any problem with musicals. Like, it was decent to me. The story was decent to me. It was mostly in his head.
Actually would like to hear from you guys if you enjoyed it, if you liked the
Yeah,
movie.
and try to convince me why you think it was bad, and convince him why you think it's good. I guess, because I think it was good.
Alright, so cool. Alright, so boom. Well, okay. Well, we have other stuff to talk about, but something I want to talk about is a game that's coming out on the 30th.
You need to have these links open already.
Well, I could type quickly. You know?
That was
the
the
31st of October. It's there already.
They don't want to
It's
watch you
there
type
already.
in though.
Listen, I'll cut it out. But anyway, yeah, coming out on the 31st of October, called Dragon Age. Well, yeah, Dragon Age the Veilguard. Anybody who's playing games, that plays games, that's watching this, I know you know about the Dragon Age series. You may have some favorites in the series. You may have some that you don't like at all. Maybe you fell off after the very first Dragon Age. I consider myself a Dragon Age fan. I don't consider myself the expert on everything Dragon Age, although I did look at something the other day that gave me an explanation of the timeline because I needed to catch up. The reason that I'm excited about this game is because it took 10 years to make. What's this? The last Dragon Age game that came out was, I think, 2014. Which means I've been waiting 10 years for this game.
I don't give up on that.
No, it was coming. It was always, there was never a
Yeah,
like
but,
cancellation report or anything.
but was it like the GTA effect where there was just updating the one from 2014?
No, there wasn't.
Exactly. I would have given up on
It's
this
just
game.
because it's not that kind of game. But they were always working on it because it is one of, along with Mass Effect, because so the people that made this game is BioWare. BioWare made this game, meaning they have successful titles. This is one of their most successful titles. The name of this game was originally Dragon Age Dreadwolf, which is a dope name, and that had me hooked for 10 years until the beginning of this year when they decided to rename the game Veilguard, and now everybody was just confused. And
So is it that they changed the game completely in those 10 years, or is it the same game they just rename it?
No, they didn't change the game.
Because Dreadwolf, you'll think,
They're focusing on
yeah.
and they're still focusing on that particular character. If you play the game, you know who that is. But the reason that they changed the name to Veilguard is because they want the focus of the game to be about the companions, because it's like 6 or 7 companions or something like that. So you have a main character that you play as called Rook. You just have skills. You just have skills.
What?
Right? So and you can handle the mission. And they needed a reason to put a character in the story. But they put so much emphasis on the other characters in this. You have a necromancer who has a skeleton aide who walking around with him. You have a detective wizard lady. You have a dwarf that's really an archer, but she's discovering that she has magical powers. You have
Like a last song, Give Me Had a Baby.
pretty much. You have a assassin that has feelings. You have a lady with horns that mightn't actually be a lady. It's very unclear. Actually, this is her.
I see.
It's very unclear what they're doing with that particular individual, but it fights dragons. So it looks, the game, like I've looked at the gameplay, I must say I'm very excited about it. Yeah, so I mean, if anybody else is interested in Dragon Age, let me know, because that is something that I mean, I'll send you some stuff on it, because
Definitely.
you ever played it, because this is like, so they have Dragon Age, and they have Dragon Age Origins, then they have Dragon Age 2, and they have Dragon Age Inquisition, so there's like the 5th or so title. I think they have some mini things in between. And they have some books and
similar
comics
to like
in it.
Kingdom Hearts, where they have the major games and then have like a 0.5 in between, and you know,
Not to that extent, but it's something like that. Something like that. But not to the extent of Kingdom Hearts, because Kingdom Hearts had that.
It's vast.
Yeah.
It's vast.
But yeah, so that's my 2 cents on the gaming part of it, because Mans is excited.
Okay, cool. Well, my thing now about video games is I want them to bring back some retro games. And one of my favorite games that got me into gaming as a child was called Legends of Legaia. Right? It's about this youth man that lived in this village, and then it had a mist, and a mist carried demons in and beasts in it, and it came and it attacked his village. But then, you know, there's something called a deku tree, and the deku tree used to grow and get rid of the mist. And the battle system in this game was dope because they had like 4 options they could choose. And when you string these moves together, it'll make a combo that will make it do like a flaming uppercut, or like a butterfly kick with a gill, or the monk, he had like electrical powers. And it was just 3 people. It was easy to follow, and it was turn-based, and it was fun as hell. And I think that they should do a remake. And that's just my 2 cents on video games for this week. We'll talk about it more video games that got us into video gaming, but I think Legends of Gaia is like it's like a spin-off of Final Fantasy, whereas Final Fantasy would have like numerous characters. In Legends of Gaia, it only have 3. You start off with 1 when you're going on your journey, battling beasts as 1 person, then you meet the Gale and the Wolf. The Gale and the Wolf, you'll use them without the first guy, and then they meet up and they become, the wolf dies, and she gets the Raseru on her hand, because that's what gives them the power, something called a Raseru. And so every time you awaken a tree, they will give you a Raseru. So that is why Van has one, Noah is a girl, she has one, and then Gal is the big strong monk guy, he has one. And then it had 2 monks. One was named Songi, and he wanted one bad, but he ended up being evil. And the story just awesome. You should check it out and let me know what you think. Legends of Gaia. It was super dope.
This game looks familiar. It also looks old as hell.
It's old. It's old. It's a PS1 game.
But it looks familiar. Like, I feel like I've seen it before. It looked like they did a remake at some point, though.
Yeah, so that's my 2 cents on gaming for this week.
Okay.
So if you want, just check it out. Have some fun with it. If you get like a emulation, I know we shouldn't encourage piracy, but you can mute that out.
That's fine. You
can mute that out.
I just
But you know, PSX emulator, download the ROM, have some fun. Let me know what you think.
I'm not associated in any way with any of these, but
alright, we cut out. We're not encouraging criminal activities.
What he said. Alright, so now for some anime talk. Real quick, I've been trying to catch up on Bleach. I'm struggling.
What do you mean you're struggling?
I'm struggling.
Have you seen the Captain Yama fight yet?
No, because I'm actually... Okay, so I'm actually trying to catch up with the Fullbring arc. Because I was doing some reading, and they said some of the characters introduced in the Fullbring arc are still relevant in the Thousand Year Blood War, and it explains how he got his powers back. Because the last thing I remember from watching Bleach years ago was that he did lose his powers, and
Genjo take his powers.
Yeah. But how he gets it back is I don't know if it's relevant, or you could say it was relevant or not, but it plays a part of your knowledge when it comes into the Thousand Year.
I guess, yeah.
So that's what I'll get in there. I get in there. It's just struggling, looking at Orihime, fangirling over Ichigo all over again.
It's so sad that you have to go through this whole process to get to the goodness of the show, because like, you should have watched it for completion's sake a long time ago, so you don't have to do this. And you could just jump in.
It's not my fault. I tried.
I could jump in. But it was interesting, even with the full ring arc, it was kind of interesting, you know, him using the substitute Soul Reaper badge
that's
to pull out his sword and whatnot. So
that's what threw me off, is like, well, he's not he's not Ichigo anymore because he's not authentic. I don't know. I was younger then. I had expectations.
Apparently, he's still young now because you
Uh-huh.
know you can't sit down taking 10 episodes a day like you used to back in the
That's
day.
because I'm a man and I have responsibilities.
Whatever.
I have some bills to pay.
Who needs sleep?
Well, yeah.
Exactly.
Let me explain.